All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to BlueSync. I hope you guys are doing well. The energy is amazing this morning. Thank you guys all so much for having some great moods when we start this sort of stuff. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys are all here. So, today on BlueSync, we're talking about something I feel like we talk about every few months, but it is always important to cover because every few months, a rash of new sort of scam or phishing things come out, and I know that I've had a few people email me about a new one the past couple of weeks, and I'm sure that means Carrie and Paul and you guys as ASCs have also received some of these texts and emails and stuff. So I wanted to go over a few tips to overall keep yourself secure. The problem with a lot of the cybersecurity stuff is that it's kind of lacking in tactility, so you're not thinking about it as much as you are like locking the door, changing the locks, and some of the real world versions of what we would be doing, we think of a lot easier. So a lot of these things are going to be things you've heard me say before. They're going to be things that you know you should do, and as our agents know they should do, but they don't do, and we don't do. And then when that happens, we get frustrated, rightfully so. But if we take a lot of these steps ahead of time, we can prevent a lot of these phishing and email scams. And the final point of this whole thing that I'm going to get to is the most important point of them all. Hold on, I just got a second monitor, and I think everything is getting a little screwy with me. So let me just I'll just try to full screen this guy here so that you guys can see that. So we're going to start with a very, very obvious one that I know, like I said, I know none of us do, which is use unique passwords. I know that this is a pain. I know that having different passwords for different things is frustrating, but I have had it myself personally. I've seen other people have it where when one account is compromised, that means they have your logins to a few different accounts. And when I'm trying to figure out the best way without getting in the weeds, there is a technique where if a website or company gets compromised and they can download a bunch of passwords and email addresses for accounts, hackers can then sort of basically roulette those and try them on a bunch of different accounts and see where it will let them in. So when you use unique passwords, if one, just to use a random example, if your Target account is compromised, you're not compromising anything else. You can simply change that password, go in, and you're safe. Maybe you are using slight variations of the same password, different combinations of numbers at the end, an exclamation mark versus an @ symbol versus a question mark, but it really does make, this is why I led with this one. It is one of the best and easiest things you can do. It's just a matter of keeping them straight, which I know we all have trouble with, which is why my second point is you can use a password manager. Now, this is probably a bit like a 201 security thing, right? It's like taking it an extra step, but these are apps or programs that will generate all of the like super, super complicated passwords for you and keep track of them all, and they themselves are incredibly secure. If you're an iPhone user and you're ever signing up for a new account and it like tries to give you a generated password and it's like 20 or 30 characters of random numbers and letters and stuff, that's what these apps do, and they manage all of it for you. They are generally like, $40 or $50 a year, so like there is a fee that's associated with it, but they are really, really great. I have a couple examples here. LastPass is one that I've heard used a lot. Dashlane is one that I have on my phone that I used for a while, and I have to re-up. Again, tasting my own medicine, have to re-up it, but I have Dashlane on my phone. But it is an extra layer of security that not only does it add keep track of it for you, it gives you all of these really long, complex, and unbreakable passwords. The next point, two-factor authentication. I know that I've said this. I know that I believe back in January, we did a BlueSync on this specifically in regards to Facebook. But it is one of those things where it is when someone tries to sign in, you get a text to your phone or an email to your email that says, this is the code you're looking for. Some places require it. As we talked about back in January, Facebook, if you're going to do ads and run, ad accounts, Facebook requires you to have two-factor authentication turned on. but I recommend doing this with everything. G Suite, any social media account, frankly, the way I say it is any account that lets you have two-factor authentication, you should turn it on. I know that it's an extra step. It's a kind of a pain sometimes to have to all right, now I got to grab my phone and get the text and do the whole thing. But I have had it, again, personally, a couple of times within the past 6 or 7 months where I have received texts that say, this is the code for you to log into your EA account, or this is the code for you to log into your Kohl's account, or whatever, and I did not request that. So that allows me to go in and change my password to that account while also preventing whoever was trying to get into it from doing so. It's an extra step, but it is well worth the extra step. Is Dropbox passwords a safe option? Mike, I've not heard of Dropbox having a password section like that. I like Dropbox as a company, so my gut would say yes, it is. But I would also say you can always just Google it a little bit and research it just to see what comes up. I'm not familiar with their if it's like Dropbox with their password protection stuff, but they are pretty reputable as a company as a whole, so I would hope that it is. This next one is what I call don't pull a JD, which I'm sure I literally did it this morning, I swear. Keep your software and your hardware up to date. Your phones, your iOS, your computers, anything that is asking you for updates, it's always best to update those sooner rather than later. Some people like to wait a week or two to make sure that there's no if Apple releases a new iOS, whatever, I don't know what it's called now, Maverick or Big Sur or whatever it's called. They like to wait a week or two to work out any bugs. I totally get that, and I'm like a big fan of that. However, with a lot of these, and especially with the most recent iPhone update for iOS 14, those updates include security updates. So if you've got an older phone, or if you got the age of the phone doesn't matter. If your phone is 3 or 4 updates behind, that makes it more at risk. And that's not just Apple, that's any piece of hardware, that's any piece of software. The more updated versions of things you can use, the more secure those devices are going to be, essentially. And again, I said don't pull a JD. I did it this morning. I had it up in my little corner up here. It wanted me to restart my computer, and I said, let's just do that tomorrow. So don't pull a JD. Do what I say, not as I do. And make sure you're updating these things frequently. And, the updates on the computers, of course, the restarts can be annoying and take a minute or two or 20 or 30. Maybe it's a weekly thing. At the end of the week, you shut it down and you restart so that come Monday, you're good to go. Carrie wanted me to add here, we will actually be putting, as a company, two-factor authentication on all staff G Suite accounts starting in Q3 for security purposes, which... Again, if that's a pain, I know it's a pain, that is a very good thing. It is a very, very secure thing. One of the tips that I had read regarding cybersecurity that I didn't actually put in this presentation is to actually, as much as possible for our agents, to use our company G Suite accounts, to use your company-provided email. And the reason is because Paul and Carrie, and then to a much lesser extent myself, have a lot of... and she said she also pulled a JD and ignored an update. So again, don't listen to us on that part. But Paul and Carrie, and to a lesser extent myself, we have a lot of control over the security settings of our company G Suite. We can whitelist certain domains. We can blacklist certain things. We have two-factor on. And the fact of the matter is that a personal G Suite account or a personal Gmail account from an agent, they meaning the agent, don't protect that like we do our accounts. So from a pure safety standpoint, using these systems are just safer and more secure. 2 more, guys. We're powering through. I know this is just a lot of me talking and you guys looking at slides, which I know you guys all love that, but I still want you to be able to get on with your day. Always keep a backup. This is huge. We as a marketing group just had this yesterday. Someone had a file had been mysteriously kind of removed. We're like, where did that go? No one knew where it was. One of our team members had it on a time machine. She was able to go in, pull it, and put it right back in the server within about 5 minutes. Always keep a backup. I have a hard drive connected to my computer right behind the iMac. Actually, no, to the side now, it's right here. I back up my entire computer so that if anything ever does happen, I have a backup of that I can go in and reinstall. I like to use the personal, the physical hard drive. Keeping your files on Google Drive is a great, again, secure, safe way to keep things. Dropbox is another program that a lot of us use. But Apple has their iCloud as well. Having a backup of something is so immensely important to make sure that you are that you have the things that you need and you don't lose. I did this again. Just last week, I deleted a personal file that I'm like, well, I needed that. Guess I don't have that anymore because I was too quick to remove it from the hard drive. Remove it from the flash drive to my computer into Google Drive. I was doing all the steps, but I did them too quick. So always keep some sort of backup, whether it's in a cloud, in a network, or a hard drive. But all of this sort of culminates to my final point here, which is you gotta be vigilant. Always double check anything. Chances are, if something feels fishy, and that's not, I guess it's technically a pun. If something feels fishy, it is fishy. Always look at, and I've said this before, look at the number that something is coming from. Look the number up on Google or on, search for it. Check the links. This is one of the big ones, this top one right here. I'm see if I can make it really big for you guys. That's been going around a lot. I've had 2 or 3 reports of this as a text or an email that says a Facebook hashtag abuse. So that in and of itself, guys, Facebook is never going to hashtag the word abuse in a text or email to you. Facebook abuse complaint received against your page, hashtag more details at, and they give you a link right here. Take a look at this URL, guys. In the word Facebook, the O's are zeros. Again, that is not something Facebook is ever going to do. They're never going to send you an email that has zeros in the word Facebook. They're never going to send you hashtags in their official email like this. A couple more options. Just a couple more. Whoops. I tried to black out people's names here so that I'm not, doing anything. Concerned about this virus. I received the following text. Again, it's the hashtag abuse, hashtag follow. This one over here was a text that somebody received, and you can just kind of, one of our agents, and you can kind of tell here that this is not legit. And listen, they make these scary, right? They make these look like they're a little bit red flag, and you have to take care of this right away. ID 621TRUT, your Facebook business page has been reported. Confirm your page to avoid suspension. And then again, some non-official Facebook link. So they try to make them like high priority. But if you ever have any issues, and I know a lot of these are Facebook related, but I'm talking Facebook or email or any account that you feel might be compromised. If you get some sort of alert like this, you can always check to go, let me put it this way. If Facebook ever had an issue with you, you would be able to tell directly from Facebook on your Facebook account, in an email directly from them. They're never going to send weird little emails like this. The other one that I wanted to show real quick here, and I had blurred out a couple of the arrows, but sorry, Michelle. This is one that she sent us once as an example. Never mind all the arrows, the assets aren't moving. One thing you can always do is take a look at the email address that something is coming from. So if you ever go into Gmail specifically, it will have like the name of a person, right? It'll say like from system administrator or from JD Waldvogel. And companies and scammers are really good at masking that. But if you ever click on the actual email address that something is coming from, you will be able to see if it's legitimate or not. This info at MIC, like this is not something that is actually more legitimate. And it's trying to warn, kindly update your account, do this, click here or else. If you can see the email, again, anything from Facebook is going to come from an official Facebook email address. Anything from G Suite is going to come directly from G Suite. There's never going to be a third-party thing. There's never going to be some random, this or that. The final point that I have hidden under all of these little things here is this one. Call someone directly if something is ever in question. One of the most common scams I've seen in real estate in my 5 years at this company is the text or the email that said, and I've got it myself, that says, who is it from? It's from one of our agents, allegedly, in the Holland office. I'll just use Bernie. I don't think it was Bernie, but it'll be from Bernie. It'll be like, hey, JD, it's Bernie. Are you free right now? And I said, yeah, what's up? And he said, can you go to Meyer and grab me a gift card for my clients that are closing. I don't have time to come run and get it. And the idea that they're trying to get you to do is to grab the gift card. They're going to ask you to send them the number and the code on the back, and then you're never going to hear from them again. You just spent $100 that they got the info for. So always be vigilant. If you get a call or text or email like that, if you get a text or email like that, call that person directly, because that's how we've caught it before. We've had agents call their managers and say, hey, remind me what brand of gift card you wanted again. I'm on the way to the store right now. And the manager's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And that's how they caught it. I know that when it comes to to summarize all of this, I know that it requires a level of caution that asks a lot of us sometimes. But this helps protect your accounts. It helps protect the security of your client's information. It helps protect the security of your information. Be vigilant. Always double check something. If it doesn't feel right, don't trust it. Reach out to Carrie or to Paul or myself and just say, hey, does this look legit? We'll always go like yes, no. We will kind of be that second layer for you, but don't click anything that you think that makes you uncomfortable, because chances are, if it feels wrong, it is wrong in terms of this sort of stuff.